susu nyamia da woroma na ko atanase ema bibia ye kama se broken heart for sere akuafo anom kokoo nso wo msusu kokoo ko nanimu se cabbage fo wo mamudua cabbage sa atosode no lettuce no ne keka ho
right
se niam ko nanim e de ma wo mti menhia hwenbobo ano de adwada we de hey
jakokwa na so
ye wo kase bo ye Greek fo kasa hibruka asia kyerɛ sɛ ampaya ebega meda
keja na fa namba na maye
mede number nso ye ma me kyerɛ ni passe bronya bere se wa nya sika ene be ya konsamampum eno ba ya ba sika ba na obi ohokora so na so ode a wo ma ye ka wontim ma odifu sam ho ne se wo pe enche Ghana sika nyina no obi anya 50 billion ono ade enche na ode ne de atonsa kwata no na 50 billion no de akara kokon video ho bra na nya sa ne nyame bo wo wa hwe yie unya sika da because one kasa no onsa no uye ya netokura bedem godifu somewhere den satu nsem on satu obi nsem se bomu a oni pan we nanim o de tokura da nsem no
na tua
ka eso papa na wunja da bi kura nya sika da no ono obi a ono wotime no ma Guinness ne kon na se no da getem obi nso kwa nso anom ye friends say create half create
anso namo
wonso namo
e ma me namba no
ade bi ye o sa so wo maami amfo ama because na no maami ode ne baba no omuye 6 omuye 6 no obi a level osoro doctors wan maami na wa ye obepe de ma ahiafo mai what the hwe me ma no kwa no muhia no some de munye ye de wa ye no ono kwa na atamfo ni won so timbehwe na amena bi oho mukotom no odifo atuatua nti wo maami antimi ama wa abra wate se wo ton ne ma ye ntomfo nsansumu ano hwe obi sika wo kai ma ketere ma se ntintasu na msa
kema be namba no
afa ukodi hene nso antentena sunsum ye be dan na mananam so dan no wo be se wutu kwai nso a na odifo sametem ka cha na ahwe enko bosum we enko afi we enko wo de di nchim ne ko wo kwa sika bekam ni nyina ye bibi football
elias bibi ni ho akeda entupo
footballers no nso mo hwe yie enti say afa brand first abon ti wiase bibi nsikwa when say footballers ni etim ko ton e de wo ko tran bench wini ball bo pass na wote ho e ba na di wani ma ba odifu somewhere ho nti wo serve no na ko shia serve no anim bo so betra bench ni nyina odi se fo
number no
je number ni se si a na fa je obotom ehia na be hie okina na de yebru anim eja kwa ache wo se wo ba na kura se be sere e be ka se eja ko fusu kura wo se ni awia no na ne ma nte nyina nam ho we nsa na de san o san to tela te onfa ma ya ka ne ebra ne be pa osika ne ja aso de na wunya bebi be wu ana so wanya 8 years abena wu abeni be wu aso obe me na sense wani we de be re
na ma no yese ke
mranti brem ene ye de be ma ya adwuma na wo wanyini na ho so se Bedford de tagi etu no wo ankasa wo de fufuo no e to ka trema so ko ndi me o se se the number ni se si a na sa be na se obo obra 0246 66 71 17 0246 66 71 17 0504 588 454 0504 588 454 454 can win 0256 777 440 0256 777 440 number e bobo bra wate na bebo pa na ja za wote wono a wote nsanjua se afuna huru se samena huru omumra emra
ya me boka sisi ya
twanu to ankara
boka keja mna ani otifo someone ana wote wa mo enkamuzafo ya de si na otifo someone eya djuma ejoda akopememenda ewo ejaba family house na odwa ni kirem ewo menhia aheboboa no ho ena otifo Samuel oye na djuma ntabusafo ye nyina yenko na ye ne no enkonti kaso ebonti odifo ena ye ne no edi enkomografo yi me tire nyu omu ni sa odi mami kwanta south eni ko wesia me ba me ni lawyer ebedi komo mi ankasa mi lawyer pani pa enso ewa hase ebedi ko ba mami ko quick emra kwame ye be de bi sesi but mami kwanta south emfa emra me say me nua no wo so a taba ti me ka me ma waju enanwumre
me nya be ma meje wo so
kama meton kapa na omere mo so de asa ne ete de meti no wadi nkomo pa anwumre yi na abusafo yere TV ni so picture na da TV ni so no aye drip machine tanka ne ka ho no na yanya ntia se odwa ni kirem ewon kwanta south a ampia ho no eye aka or the drip no a business chairman oban kwanta south wa monam wo ho oye constituency panyi edema NPP won kwanta south na meboa
menu ampacho sanete
position ye den
me constituency communication director
that na say assembly beto from won kwanta south bia efa NPP ho no ona abo ho dawro
ampacho sanete
demu assembly ete no ana ayetete no enu krobe na wom
menu amedase mecha no machia ahwefo nyina o mo hwe Wontumi TV anyimre fai asem nyina yetitia enim se nanado dankwa kofado ne Dr. Mamudu Baomia na ban ni mu na hwehwemu kire se na ya kwan dodo na ewo oman ni mu nye eninti omoye adwen se ombekwa akoto machines aba be ma district ewo Ghana fa na nyina na ya kwan tempon na enye no na yatimi ye de drip machines ye de CST into omudi ye say ye oyo district ewo Ghana fa na nyina no omo supply machines yi mo nti Nkwanta South municipality enso enya ya from die Nanado da kwa Akufo-Addo aman mu no abre no so no mo de machines ne de buy and now ye that sorry ya ye member of parliament for Nkwanta South and din honorable Geoffrey Kini ye ne private project bi. In fact, let me be specific. We see Abro Sign Story Building project be closer to the Assemblies of God Church Ewo Nkwanta, which is also closer to the Gateway Hotel Ewo Nkwanta. Na ye observe ye ne ye hu se na bulldozers na ewo ho ewo under drip no ye the bulldozers ye ade atwen anya ne abo hwe pictures na ye de send mu na bo nsa abo akese bi ni anya bi eda we water tanker na ehwo ye bulldozers no mo de twen ye bisa ya ye say honorable Geoffrey Kini project anti ye bisa one questions under the Right to Information Act na e magana ni to me say so say bibi ekoso na won ti ase a Wontumi tro ekoma adumakuo ni say wo pese wonhu ni ekoso senia emra na ema ekwan na me so me tro ekoda Nkwanta Municipal Assembly na ano say me pese me hu letter na ye MP etro ye the request for drip machines and terms and conditions omano how the use machines and
na meba before obekọ ho no o de wani ko hu say machine no aye bulldozer na ko ho tanker ko ho machine do obi ese ko obi anu do wani hu sa ko ho
me abe masa na tie and the picture na ye send them no asat enra be 2 p.m. ewia 2 p.m. and you twa sa picture na green we water tanker na green water tanker na uzumi ni ye pa bonzi atro drip our driver ne yes good and to be say project be koswa we iron rods show ewo baby anwa ni gunechi wo honorable Geoffrey Kini project ya
MP now project all sinidan
any private project any personal project ye ni asem say ye ni personal project but ye busa ne say ade ya ban de so ukosre a ewo say enkrata ewo ho enkata won no nso saban de ade na mawa de nhihye ben na ewo ne aban temu ode nyoma ne ma na say de ma nso aye han amawa a number of days na o yusu ade no o tua sen na so far na sen na wanye tua ede aye den ede ama ye friend ne sen aban eninti na ye de RTI Act Right to Information Act ede di juma ya tro ama assembly na
now am responding to letter na
enra aye 14th of November 2025 near the cat and kwa emrane trese omo within 14 days what omo responded to we a cat and nti ye twen say ye be show manim say bia 14 days ne be so no metimi ayi ano kama ewo request na ye no
me da say ye nkomu biem sabe oni obi nyasem a ma no so kwanya no so enye 14 days no ye ntwen making kan 14 days no every enra na minimi ye pa se na otwemi anu se ne meba opuna no abedi nkomo me da se se on medi nkomo
me ya me da se
abzafo Nkwanta South asema beto dwa kire se MP a wo ho e the drip machine no esi ni dan odne ade atwenwa na atwanwa odne ade sinsuo ni sinsuo on the other form so buffer drip machine so about say ya fa me obese ya first aid ever by a kwai yes we give them me madu kwai me da say but kwai me ye be kwai ye kwai animu yi kwai me wo say say Eji Attorney General Ghana aban lawyer pani ayi na timi boni din ni ye poyando waka assembi ni ye National Cathedral founding lawful Eji response to Supreme Court suit asemi metna ha eye interview bi mene lawyer Joanna ene di hu nkomo oya lawyer ni Edema National Cathedral na me ni di hu nkomo o kan se mebre ade to dwakra kire se National Cathedral na ehu na ye hu picture na ho no no eye project no ma wio akade kakra bi pa kombe ya ena Ralph nom etimbisa se Captain Smart Ralph any MPs bi o mo de campaign ma NPP ho eye Ghana fo hin no omo wo hin la majo
Yania.
Net saying.
Nyankopado.
Baby out here now, Tana, and you ding come.
Sa. Mammy Chia would tear for no more show.
Mammy called them man who.
There be said, what Bomma, yes, you're lawyer for
me phone.
There be lawyer for the we are no friends here, near bar. Yes, I never can see I'm from by. May I tell me, just why I'm booming out on Jimmy phone. Guam you. May I say, and you're fool. It's not come friend lawyer. So lawyer. Yachi enuano eke wa me ko no muni baby adimi ko anyes o me say na me ko hwe
e take 2 days na
me si me ko na say ye wo ye so mo produce na e wo me do akote da bi o
si no muni mo ma be che me kra me na me ni mo ma be che
na me say ye de hu so bia ba be che nipa na ko ndi e hwehwe no emre mu si etim ko hwe no
de say me ko sua na mbabo na ma me la me no di nkomo em say di nkomo 2 weeks and I issue by a befa me concrete. Now you did come off a National Cathedral. Large one or your wine, the kind of what name who pay any dinko.
Your family lawyer Charles Owusu Joanna. Me a lawyer ni, me company, me law firm, your friend case and law firm. Me na misansu ye National Cathedral for lawyer, Penini, lead council, board.
O man befa one as a ban fa o ma.
Omna family. Because a company limited by guarantee.
Na yaguna na.
Debita. One a kind.
Say ka say board no begunu.
There be said the propaganda na ekoso ni bia.
Say na mo yadwuma.
Yadwuma papa. Na say na say ko bi come 50,000. Ade ye good no bi come 50,000. Enya no credit just say no man do kaso be tie bibia. Wontimi mfa bibia anya yi but ade ne say say elections here ye ko yi. Propaganda di mu akotine papa. We sure say by now. Enkofo hu say no ma bibribe wo ho aye kekan ya on both sides enya no credit. But people based on it, no de tuaba. Omo tuaba based it on it. Omo tuaba so based it on it. Enti Ghana fui. Enye se obi beka bibi na no magedi. Mo so mo nya mu pense mu kakrai. Na mungu se ndukre no mo kana sentro no mudie. National Cathedral be ba halasa woken. Me ka cho se sembe bi o makeka nyanya no kreda. Sikadie no mo ka nyanya no kreda. Ene Almost saying the PPP didn't go according to PPP rules. And cause and Attorney General say everything was done legally. If everything was done legally, then the foundation of the National Cathedral is solid. Solid. It is obi the Edisika. So I pay your team in Chehen Edisika no. Fred Amoya. And Edisika no Edge Mama National Cathedral. Children never go to the Codina Seme. The National Cathedral never no bank. The second project, for example, ministries. You see, minister Diska. It's in 2 ministry. There be ministry ne koso. And MP and minister. You never go to court to say be you one. It's the National Cathedral. Nothing stops the National Cathedral from the hindrance and the things. And your man is sino. And your man is saying gwasi. Say obi president or what mandate. The constitution man the power. To say president to history. No aba say be see National Cathedral. No wa ye hu no manyina onu do kan kase o dia ban sika na esi the full you. O say aba ben contribute na nkrofo so private citizens enso contribute to na ye fa de ne hye aban sa na aban run ade no enti kan ya kadire si wi a aban dia but meanwhile contributions different angles na eba musi dabi nkrofo ni diska ena o manya PPA ena o manya wei ena o manya enne sa attorney general aban lawyer panyini said nothing was wrong with there. Enti what went on?
So asam na age ya be kan CCA no ene comment is akoso to the extent say nya Ghana fo bi mom ko gina ho ko dware ensuo say swimming pool ko dware ho ne nya nsentwofo bi nsem mo kan de farm ho ene ne ma e ko so nyina no mo expect say on be ba bonte abe clear mo ansa na mo ho asan ana asesen
wo ma mo tie ma me nchiro mo bibi National Cathedral na cathedral was sitting 5,000 people at the same time. 5,000. Apart from that, there's a Bible museum. I will be making research about Christianity or even Islam. Abraham, Nino, my with Makwayo. Apart from that, there's a Bible garden with Makwako, Jeffa, now Bon Paya, now Kona Uba, now Kona Uba, now Yo Nyoma. There is a 350 restaurant. Family bit sorry and bit didi etweska. There is a auditorium. I will be my weddings in your manoma and son there's a conference centers. A huge project. As soon. Nti person we sad there. We are consultant. Obe consult. Kofono ibabi sinana. Ofa consultant so betwanika. Ofa architect so be draw ade no so.
Betwanika.
Ofa structural engineer.
Betwanika.
Bill of quantities.
Betwanika.
Clearing of the site.
Betwaka.
Now yes anyuma we na obe say dinosaur. A dinosaur. But some crofo we ni na wutu omoka no. It takes about 40% of the Now going forward, 8% of the construction actually has been done. That is the foundation,
8%.
And Tiadena Omokachira will say swimming pool, no. Underneath the new, so underneath it, 25 meters of concrete and steel have been sunk. The data boxes have been completed. Aka walls now. It's a swimming pool. Because I didn't see such a mighty building now. I was so would you see foundation, you could see board also. I was say ho. Say the bear. Entimi ensheke na ensinki o say a 7-story na ekosoro cathedral no building a 7-story na ekosoro entimi nia obi say me si cathedral de Nyankopon endunyam o so o person wo de ye cultural center
ama trauma mana
Debbie send ye e to ho de identity delay. From 2021 to almost started dust throwing politics ne bana we Canadian we Canadian say ye politics ye aban aba from January 7 years so aban in to how many months ni
7 months
afen yes ya kofa be chef PwC for do madwuma ma be say be integrity audit be competence audit on by investigation of investigations that take place audit from Auditor General after OSP after NIB after Shraj after Deloitte too, which is bigger than PwC still PwC no about it over 7 million Ghana cedis to do a job that has abundantly been exhausted.
So now nya age beka yi say sika no was lawful and am nakwan so and Ghana band you tua ni tua ye in the kind of latin ni for baby ano still an ntiase e ma ye say ye ntie won say sika no adwuma na mo dia ye mo dia ye e dey say ehwe say bia mo di sika ni bia na
still still PwC integrity audit
na the love and truth for no report na buy no na omo no mo ye
your audit. National Cathedral entra ho for be.
Na omuna ban ntu omka.
We the National Cathedral
omuna ban ntu omka.
Be cathedral for the tu omka.
Ntu oma ayom be ba no so for the tu omka.
And I'm say ban tu omka be over 7 million Ghana cedis to do the job now. Ya hear that. I say forensic. And I'm say what is forensic? forensic means akwawe now can be a metro se masa wadwene ne sen ade no hu ne sen ne kadon and forensic because National Cathedral is not something that's gone on for 30 years like I say documents in the doors on GPC who we the cose it is still in construction ye construction documents are not to be the forensic for what to show say we are this car now even so be a this car Nature Cathedral mem yensi send anybody in our committee into the department because they can't face no enti menua media me feel say the ekoso nya ebu apayo kianeki e o si enya bibi for National Cathedral now ni bibi the only way I wait to be the company limited by guarantee obeti me am on board the SCZ and the rest of it president didn't need power I obeti me stop one court it is the only ye information near the court so public interest it yen stop National Cathedral.
I don't know more.
I don't know omuguso mo ye no.
Why na dey asem ne court e ma age ko e correspond ye no.
O ene say the Supreme Court na ko because say mem use state funds and far enye 1992 constitution base obi use state funds to develop.
Yeah frame.
There be send there omo filing na yinti age for na be ye omo Supreme Court be ma omo interpretation of what the man is. And AG had to go and respond.
Were you impressed with their age in the kind?
And the credit na papa ni kan ye no. And the credit. And the credit no na ya from day one say there's nothing wrong. Bibi anyone go for ya and go for board the contra board is wa. Omo ye friend say your mom 1,000 cedis. Archbishop Amabako ofi Cape Coast na eba o. Your board meeting, a man 1,000 Ghana cedis. Because and ya di omo ko
enu bia no tofu wala na.
No de tofu. And ya di omo base. Omo ba be pesca. Omo si yesi Nyankopon fie nti no omo commit omo lives. Ebi no pastors ni bi friend say apostolic ana Pentecost software. Omo nya omo ko pension. Ena ba akuno na o na yi no. The binye pa bako no kwapim ni no
the referee dinga kra
I'm apostolic
oh yeah apostle of penny so no retirement
no retirement the binye Pentecost omo nyina ba betra ho no omo make sure say be si die omo integrity omo transfer papa no ka che be say me transfer sorry mu me train mu da dansa na me ba return kapre kra me ni kapre krada
na National Cathedral me pressure me boa me esi afi de hwe yesi me your krofo yesi ma hese aden but they will make sure say it is built Ghana for a war memu a omo aboto fa enkoma e ba ho amanyofo de ye amanyosem a gum hu fi ko ya horo mo pa o masa me ko e de be ma Ghana for nya ahotoso se no e so mo contribute to National Cathedral board na mo de e no kure na se Ghana for hu se ade no ayi nkofo nsem mo kan na nya no kure me ye sure se Christopher mo Ghana no mo ye Christopher mapa because Sundays we be hu se streets nya empty o mo kwa sorry but ensem na ye ka fag National Cathedral no se nkofo mo te so mo discan why na di ni sika be kwa komo obi azu o discan enti no mo ye push back enti say ni sa beto dwa say mo ni sika bia government Mr. President Mahama munya ide mo ye no na mo National Cathedral ni yesi because ye hwe Islamic side akutina president who di wo mu no constitution 1992 constitution article 17 and it is not laughing at you because why the akutina in case what the boni o in fact why are they that promoting a religion to the hilt what promote to me a national mosque sa Hajj village kromo e oba ye also ye Hajj village also 5,000 krofo be ko Hajj free also 26 million e ka omode ya anya audit bia o omode ka 26 million wetua also be Islamic University o be Islamic Bank and no ma bebrebia wo ye nyina na afa 5,000 clergies on be ko round no ma yo majuma it seems say what niwo Islam ho to the detriment of Christians but Christians they have held their own on my schools, on my hospitals, on my develop to develop the country. 72% to Christopher.
It even taxes. You can see you could tax cra. Some growfui more taxes than anybody else. It almost got president he had done quite for buy so be seen. It has become a problem. And yes, here the cultural center. Or try see the you if you want the Omako baby. And then they hear say neighbor president two and mutu. But the manifestation of the talks that are coming and the delay, consistent delay of the building of the cathedral, no, can't see you believe said they are more can no correct.
You talk about your Marco board meeting.
Oh, you and then I say I board meeting. And then I say there was a board meeting. Me say Obi Obeka just said this one will be so PWC by it is moving towards the because the only way that you can affect the so coach say or might be against public. But one thing I'm person want to say contractors there the more juma no more necessary store no more train. Almost started the letter say ba said the delay na ban. Almost a cost to be a sum charge $29 million. I say a national cathedral board in the hey. I just say you no my but delay ninti. Now who has done the delay? A government now a delay woman and in your man na akosu. Ain't one cost financial loss to the state.
A government
cost for that. So whoever is sitting there, someone say you are looking at the barrel of causing financial loss to the state because eventually the project was a legitimate project, which was put forward by the ex-president who sat in the same position that this president sits.
Lawyer Charles Owusu Joanna, a lawyer ni Edema National Cathedral. Friend Amoya, good evening.
Good evening, boss.
What is saying?
Nyame adom na so e.
Nyame adom boko. Na o se o hwe lawyer sa waboto won.
Achimkwa, you know, from the lawyer Kanyina, I'm just taking one cue from it. Ima ana Kwame say oh what made the video be, I think it was the local government minister.
Yes.
Or Kasimbi. Or see, we demonized the National Cathedral. We demonized.
And
American say Kwame and Abosha Bayimawa. I think a local government minister. No?
Currently,
yes, currently. And Okasa.
Yeah, of course, Parliament.
Parliament. I think it was an interview.
Okay.
And the interviewer asked about
National Cathedral.
Update on the National Cathedral. And Okasa, it wasn't a bad thing. But we demonized it. So because we demonize the idea, my main family once you can't demona, if who say a bonsam, inti yema bonsamsam, eko moi to the extent say Ghana for na bejatum say Cathedral Kampono e musio, cause a bomb mine ka I say. I think the first person I meet Cathedral Nsempa Fie is that local government minister. The second one, Deloitte and Touche for findings never out say, I think it was the communication minister Fusukwache Felix. And
obey press conference.
Yes, said Deloitte and Touche for the audit findings number. There was nothing wrong with Cathedral. Now president now order say Omunsanya forensic. I was just looking at lawyer because he has the details. We just hear it from the media. Say Omunsanya forensic audit. Ewo sa
Deloitte for no number.
The Omunye forensic audit. Achimkwa said the lawyer kind. We are looking at a time bomb. Omane a team no, and then the real reason that we know be show. Omane a team no. I think say veer from yen enyoma as Africans and as Ghanaians ese anke ye foundation baako no kore. Secondly, enipa de wote wa ubetumi ate asem obi realize say oh asem nam te no kora enye no kore sorry ka I a problem oh my way. The reason being is that so obi ape numbers inti se menu achim kwato wa de meka gu no hufi no I ma me numbers because bad news sells. Bad news SLA. Look at the pedigree of board of directors our more cathedrals. professors, Professor Dr. Emeritus Apostle Opoku Onyina. I think in Ghana, I saw BNU as St. Pentecost. In Ghana. So for this man to be the rector, he was first the rector of Pentecost University. Share number of students about Pentecost University. Sikabena Pentecost University. Me nka the Church of Pentecost too. Pentecost University as an institution. Nanka Wontumi nyemfi. Obey the chairman of the Church of Pentecost for 10 years. 10. He's a professor. Yes, be a nyamesom kwa na woni mu. Wasan sua de. Because me nam hono. Lawyer bet me correct me a minim title a chain professor. In the Bosan Emeritus. Minim a title a chain professor. A chain emeritus. The educational or the academic structure nim no. Na brawa boy. People could sit on their TV. Catching it to nim nyansa.
Yes.
No, there were unprintable words. Uncle for Kafa Apostle Pukunina on his integrity. Uncle for now, no come integrity once more.
Captain Smart lady came Mundi.
But Mutumit na who Mama police for Chiwatum, Ubed them, Obi Papa, Obi Nana, Obed them. You had no evidence of wrongdoing, but now okay. Into the law it for the kind of buy. Local government minister Bekai. Na afeni so the attorney general. Names attorney general maybe no personally, but what I hear is that he's a no nonsense man. Onon so ababeka toso. Say checking from the records, every spending of the National Cathedral was lawful. A debana sankrofo ya omudi yen professor atem
di man penyati
omudi em say people akwana no he paaye yes of prophet kusi boating the secretary din atem opese MPP win na scanner we wi ano yen chi wunti no wa hyenkom say MPP for be win nsema no man kan fa no. To the extent, I think in February, yeah, cried say or do airport time police for at Cheno.
Yes.
We heard it.
How did you do for 2 days?
We heard it. Police for Cheno side no to kwa obi okwa any program. Achonkwa Ghana ha no, yeah yam na ya ade bi say. U politics in penes na uni skada. Lawyer to one brow bud na no. Opa mane me a political figure. No onko to V8 bin dem. Bina mo beka say sika no de akoto V8 ni dem. Hwe ye ma Mrs. Ladapa. After everything the CIA and FBI no ya from ba some investigation and money laundering crowd. Later they all came to say mam ni your money sika. Timbisa na madam for dem bisa say madam for dey say na say unim oko businessman a young doctor or say kwame despite now comes 1 million than them be one so when you also a businessman unim tama ma misila da paza obobra lawyer na tuwe mama sisila da pakunu is a good lawyer in good standings Ghana for more than 40 years intisika bain na papa ne pa onya so if no could do landmark case ba kuna case the other $5 million ah
10%.
So lawyer ni wia unim sika ono ba no
10% no unim do draw.
But and you know what it takes to even be an MP at Bantima? What we hear you akodi MP Bantima da?
There be.
What we hear you? What akodi MP Bantima da?
There be.
And checking from the records from
Kokufu.
Yes families 5 for Muska or Chrome our Santa Memoir. Mama family.
Yes.
And because of $1 million, look at what we did to the woman. Achunkwa, this government have dropped cases near 1 quarter, near about $10 billion.
Yes.
And they are chasing about $4 billion. Only Sagleme project, near $200 million. The almost some didn't only posekwa. Zagleme. The Minister of Justice, Ebekache say, and no cry ness and come sign there attach yaka home attach yako de $7 million be into the case no almost share almost had the merit of the case and it 5,000 housing project is 1,100 but that's kind of question loan no about we buy no say ehun hia the $200 million that go to baby yanke antu Coronado for Unibank case under court na 5.2 billion Ghana cedis o convert here you know how many dollars almost $500 million Attorney General Bekache says so almost revise figures no down to 3.3 billion Ghana cedis, which is almost more than $300 million. And you're judge ready. So yeah, also the 60%, 60% paper. Snit Thompson, it was $66 million. You're judge ready. Here do buy him $7 million. So I'm a public trial. You judge $66 million for. Hey, this $7 million.
Ambulance at forcing.
You see, and Achumkwa, I make say, I see, I'm not intro any idiom. I mean, this finance minister, Betna Boabasu, fine gentleman, he's doing what he can. What else? The only thing that I see, the only policy that I've seen that he's introduced to the system is facial discipline. And the end spend this car. Not your whole this no. Na yen kakra sope and so they make us so you know he came on national television or the budget for 2026 lied say you've moved the foreign reserves from $7.7 billion to somewhere around $10 billion, which you know say Akufo-Addo reserve $8.9 billion. Akufo-Addo read it. President Mahama,
first budget.
President Mahama Cracker said yes. Akufo-Addo left me 8.9.
And on one budget, he come back
so
the same
thing. So from the 7.7, you have moved our gold reserves. Akufo-Addo just 30.2. What do you call 30.8? More idea. Sabi Jeff is doing marvelously well. But we shouldn't lie. Achimkwa, me problem no. So if you think okay asem na asem na okay no later ube who say asem nya no kra have that particular effrontery that vim na unya na odi gu obi papa ni mas no, why don't you have that same guts to come on national television and apologize to the person? Achimkwa ya che for what? Who charge near then?
I say a friend is saying false publication.
Now Toshi case no. I was sending new call for me no ye.
Call you now Toshi do MPP ni. Now call you. I was say police for fire no. We are now realizing Interior Minister Mwa Abekache said you lied. And they ain't been charged no. No, because this is serious. Actually, go kunipa one can so be a kun. But wait there. On no ne kase, you're shooting in crop for me.
A whole national television. And to me, I know almost such well. A small bikoni fee. A Zoom interview live. My minute to her. Chese I said no one put no money near Johnny. And then yeah, what happened?
On was what you can na can be na chine a 24 man e team you know ma police for be fa am koy
findings now Interior Minister de buy no see a share on minor security structure. I think the national security and the Yoko are mostly in line with the government. Police they are civil service so the omoya recruitment to be here to rembi soldier will be here to rembi. Did you see the report blaming the national security? Did you see the report blaming the Yoko? The report blamed the soldiers and then the police. Did you ever see in that particular report that they were blaming Akufo-Addo? But here, you catch Akufo-Addo Kroma say, "Well, kunipa, nipa moja wanensa for 2020 elections." If you listen very well, a lot of these lapses were coming from aggrieved NDC supporters. No person mo cause me hammer na security personnel no prevent it. So why are we doing this to ourselves as a country? Sure. Maybe a coin biama
Meba ho. DKM.
Ajengwa.
Eti say
Adum ni ahwe.
De nyame ase. Me I was kura gu me Friday so ka say lawyer di fly di say ya. But I'm tell you for the next 10 minutes, I'm tell you.
Ajengwa. Ma menchia ohwefo na otiefo.
Omojoso.
Menda Ghana fo nyina ase.
O yiri wi ne the mwam de boa wo.
Omufaso a omo afutuo makwankyere omo arekyekere omo ahoɔden sika fam bibia mu Ghana fo amfa meyere ayi anya politics both CPP NDC MPP obia de ho hyem ti do timi band wantimi amabia no anwumre first time a isiesie meyere chiwi a me dia ba fidie so de me de obi bia ase titu ne mama nyoku MPP me da base ya me show mo pa Achinkwa on say oman na yetimo no eya akoye say emra no aye Ghana mra no echi bi ejai bi ememre nkuma no na eja akese no pesemo a lawyer atia wa kamedi eja me nko law school nti no de bi amisua bi fi obi ho there was a time ne lawyer Evans Bishiawa
Yes
yedi nkomo bi ema small scale mining ho assemble na me ka che ne se ye to aba nempo na se yiwura ba womi abaye president ne nkomo edi wo ha no se ba womi amfa saa we ne so de be fight for illegal mining a wo ye den e be twa afa no so saa ne ye to aba na se NDC kura be wini na se ma me ka ha no wo anyusu ano a wo ye de e be twa afa no so the same thing ena mahama so ba etwa fa so adinta omban ne mra no edi nkuma na eja akese hwase ma lo yate ya woka nchichirimu a woye nye lo ya na beka yo odi ade to screens na me hu ye se attorney general I respond to
Supreme Court suit
no the bar for we
Nasa
cathedral no na yete ya na emblantie bia sabi me kura mpo no metimi akọ bia asene won ye di empeni fo atawo Ghana because of national cathedral ni tumi a wo be se wonyonko aginti ni egu mu fi na minu ya ekase sisie no wo kase eya apostle poku nyira Pentecost University a honko ano so wo pesika sabi wo pesika ewia sawo se wo bubu ni krofo
no mu ni confirm ka
ewia dia eke ho sika be nan ke ni ho yenua no mo ayetena afidie bia so egira abonten ayi ase asole dem afikire ekase tia empanimfo a omuda saa cathedral no yesre Ghana for say anwume so mutie ye ne a every ne kopem Monday Tuesday Wednesday so mo ba abonten bepacho enti saa nyame akatua aketua ehu beba wonso mebira ho samu anwumre yi ene ma yenhira wa ha because some am abeti wa ha ne no e wo sa na sha cathedral ho no pede lawyer kaye pede minue so echichire mu na wo hwɛ sa mpase yete nyese wo mo na ko yete afedie e wada swimming pool mia kasa me community platform so NDC phobia wo so se ubie wa no kure ma won kasa na nya me nwanwa se lawyer ka asem bi se ye elections aye ko na na anu no ye ma propaganda eye more than say ye be ka no kura kire ya ho ene de ye be dru be ye dru timasemo an say something from board of the latest national cathedral no so mu ba ko pe kura say ehu kura sent e bo fia musafo ni fia kam me de nyame ase president Akufo-Addo ene Ghana fo a omso da decide ne ba ye no omu amla emom kwa so mo nti board of directors no mo hwe se adwuma die so ma ye no sebi Mr. Meka omunye kwa chanchafo se wo obi ahwefo etie ma asem na mekra me se president Kufuado any Ghana mpanimfo a da yeso de ba se yenye sa national cathedral no omo tena ase eyi board of directors no saafo na omunye kwa chanchafo no makoyi bia se wo mo na mra me national cathedral so na asem ko ba ni atra ye fie mu na try ye bonti
Raf
try ye TV so me dey me mo bia di
me dey me body Raf
ni mo ho nyansa
on Captain Smart
da bia me ka se me trasia me ka osema me ka wasem pa nyansa ye de na nimdia so ye fa no obi nchen
mentwa no me hwe video bi ne on na my be my progress we say enyo bia na bodwe afu ayewa na ne tin wadwun bia na sebe onim nyansa na mom owo dwan fitabu oni fie o abodwe se no tibi ka ye me
the I think say the president Nana Addo Akufo-Addo is and will always be the most vilified, the most insulted, and the most disrespected person wabe serve your man way.
Sam Kanichi, Kanichi.
He is the most vilified.
Kanichi, is it Kanichi?
Vilified no cry chini de. The most disrespected. Yes. But to him say he's the first president of this country. To me for failing a campaign promise on his first year.
Yes.
Yes.
Even President Kufuor wasn't able to do that. The campaign promise was also as free SHS. Nana Addo Akufo-Addo did it in 9 months. And on himself also made the most capital intensive and the most ambitious projector President Biabe so be embark on. DK, I'll just ask you for 2 minutes.
So what say? National Cathedral responder AG I respond na what na say na de kwa adwendwen mu na be say sansem ana to me binti na amanfo kagu sa board of directors no kwa dem say am say ye twam National Cathedral ye twam
say egu board
sana me meti ye egu board no ye twam but lawyer so te what's the board ni adwuma
senate committee
sana lawyer kai and if you what is your sabi nya kwa chancha machine what
national television
so not in okasa it is obi see ntwa mu obi see yatwa mu a ono so metra me kan che say yatwa o say to me aye ka ho asem say open no anfa kwampa so ampa a ubenya na emom hunsunsaso no ene yasem a whole Victor Kusi Boati. Me share papa ni videos bi. Na me share video na arekekere. Am da kekere me hwere. Me nya sofu bia na metie no. Me nya sofu bia na metie no. Na ya tata no. Sa project 20.
To say ya chine man
ko dem dia wo kodie no. Ye na kotum 2 days. Me see ene ya da ben. Ene ya me 15th. Misre wo mo ehwe yen so obi hwe me say ndisi for ntan hwe
hey
me the sound kan so nzo wo mo ntan hwe
dike
wo mo ni wani ha
hwe
wo mo kan kire wo mo nkofo no
o me pacho Monday Captain Smart pacho
wo mo pacho na nya sa nkofo we nyina no afena respond na ba so mo ni so esofom na ansofom wo kwampa so a hwe papa pani otimi ni fa so te se papa yi lawyer muya na odadwuma die bi se ya no a na ni lawyer che ekoda mi fi a mani beji do nyame mani beji me catch them ba se me ni lawyer bi ko tre afidie so na se mo kan na ye me fe na ma
e chere anya beji
na nkwala no so de asua bibi se papa kura timi lawyer no e di nkomo na ka se wo ya kire no me se wo mo be pa chawo na tumi a wo be pa wo be kan sem bi edi age no ebi na me ka kire me ami party for MPP for say elections internal elections no ya kasa tia ye ho a
emwa
ye wia lawyer to we so wo yire wo ma o de abuso de fese abuso afo apo no ne mo ne yire ne ma de
won neti
o mo ntimi mpo me so wo yire wo ma me nua wo yire wo ma ani ye pre ama ba akwa betra ba bia wuti ni akwa abonten ko ka che ye nkofo wa yeso mo nko hwemu nyi ba ko na ma ko ta ba bi ma ka lawyer hu asemu a wa bra de make akule ni wo me twa trato no so papa we so ba no be yese de order bet no no aka afa na ye ko to aba ni wie na ko ba se mi ko wi ni a lawyer me go ni ho fi no kwan ben me fa so akọ no hompo se me ma anko na papa e kura ko pare cho no agi tumu a na chita afọ no kwan wo ka cho so mra me kan nko to aba na me mra betra eti se ye nuanom NDC 40 a ye nuanom Ghana 40 a ye nuanom MPP 40 a e be do so man hwe no ye hu no kura ye kan ye ja se di kontompo se e ye NDC na WhatsApp propaganda e no
o ma cho
eso ma cho na ska fiedwa
eso ma sa no
what's no o ma di
o man communication
awura di yesu go for names terms
propaganda secretary
me do nya me anya nwanwa
first one Richard Kwashida
ai ai mu na abedi bi o ayi of Solomon Kansa mu na abedi bi
anya nwanwa
no wai
o wai
Solomon Kansa o ma yina ma
o miria o man na ya tim no ye nyira ya dia na sha cathedral enkosi Akufo Addo abusua fie board of directors no a
edano no
empanimfo anyansafo eyi wo mo no so medano no na sha cathedral enkoyo mo japade eye national na wo mo mi jinse wo mu bi no ye ka de asem word ne to wa wo mo nse da busa me enchiro mo mu wo mo ntiase eye national enya district na nya municipal no aka se eko obi mantam eye national me ne wo ye nyina japade ne ye ni pade o mato ama na mo disere won duo won mu asese ne report ko ba se sika bie ko mu bia no
kenofura tade e dinatem
so sika bie ko mu bia no I approved
etika kenofura ta bagana e ma ye che no e koto mo a ana kene we ba ya e kede na beba ma me kola ya homla sisia lawyer uche di dike so pe o se say then efa saa ne ma akoso nyina no because be ya say we begu hu fi no ntimi meka bibi mfa chopa na osre bi emfema e say mpanifo no no mo hia na mo di nkoma ya na ya odi ni tisen
ya but who the reason why some be kabibi because do say nyame adwuma no mo ye eno mu ndi obi esika bia enti nokure ne beba masa wo ba be gina ho abeka so ke ye dis ka de ye no o ka kra we be ka cho so obutro na wudi me comfortable regia me nyo mo ka se binum say sama me ka minim de me ka kra but e binum so see yes afi no mate ade na se o cha enti o mo de o mo gina nkopondi eno o mo ye nyame adwuma e binum resign because o mo ntimi take hit na na eba na no hye na tete o ka so opoku nyina professor opoku nyina board sa opoku nyina te so ewo global no it's more than 25
we are seeing now
almost every year bia papa need to kwan or board meeting or yes say say popia wa ba for free bibi obey bia no or invited of course
from Ghana
18 way why you chairman of Pentecostal church no ba bedi obisika unim say ni time no and no see sa you omo you know masi we weja hono ACC no PCC o so den
Pentecost conventions
omo amabosia o omo amabosia o the collections na eba no and year no this year after he had an opportunity say on kwa meeting crofobia wo Dubai mo ba ko so person donate $100 million towards the cathedral
bye
na ba yes go mu wies kan Nti kwabkofo no hu sa na omo cancel program no. Me see se kenye sa no man na course from 2021 akabana cathedral ye siewie. Ye siewie. But omo the politics. Nti Mr. President, the politics na twem. Ye wie una high president. Yen sa elect another president bi at 2028. Nti no the call no enkotra ne baby. Na fe we see clearly. Na yen see a cathedral also ye Christoni. But onyoma wo ye nyina cheso wo ye Muslim. Enya hwe wo ye Muslim ye good. But my ye Christopher so ye sanke na cathedral. Ni ehu se me say sakamsora no pa won kran ya. Sunday Mako National Cathedral. We are matum correction. Mako yes 5,000. And the Timitra ho. Ain't in a minute. And throw the adibi. And Mguase obisa prophet Kusibuati say. Ne bagba. Echo school America. Chinese ni be kwakole bi hu no catch and say. Your father is a criminal, is a thief. Because how was in National Cathedral in the morning? Obi a why the amount of money a papa ne personally or their share cathedral ayi mu se besi akwantu a watu onu aka se etua or considerable okwako pesca at the Abbey Cathedral. Is it fair? Is it fair that people who have set up their churches, papa say Victor Kusinu, or sorry work maybe 25 countries, only presidents in this so. Obeko next time say Charles is kaka be one na wadi. Edenim gwasini. So we don't want our own. You don't. Yeah, Pamaboko. Archbishop Pamaboko. Otimi faka free clipos no aba board meeting. Wa betra. We are the time. Yeah, because anya do here sika bia opeso ye nyame adwuma. Na je ye hwe ehu so ye.
Victor Kusibuati craft e Kumasi. Na se wo konkan board meeting na e free enkrafro na tie fro ayi hour ede e free akra e Kumasi kwakra in and out saying
sure they say last time Michabi last week it was Micha in 2005
it did out 5,000 now ko body amount 1,000
say yes idea ye tua unka just say omo ye o ma say ye ma 1,000 na they support to petrol new way but they were prepared. And they are still prepared to continue to see say a basic cathedral na we because some fans say nyame adwuma no mo ye because some ye men of God. Uti the make na say na cathedral no so no obi obeka church say swimming pool bia so the wickedest thing that can happen to anyone.
And the rough na kind.
Me the minim rough no.
Gaga rasta na
say. And omomodin so obeko nyame anim no akopa chow.
Eno me won so.
Because uti mameka bi binchiro.
Lawyer no me won so.
Me say mameka bi binchiro. Hwe Nyankopon na bo wiase o. Ujidio wunyini o. It does not matter. Na metimi aye minua ibone. Nyankopon say e do some time bia obebu aten. But so sorry tia Nyankopon ha. Instantly, you see, obue assassin the crofoshem osa katum. Obue pum. Crofoni wuremu no osa katum. To God asks obe hu na onyoma bi ketekete na start say na Nyankopon no yo ni wasisi waso enkrofo bebre wa ndisi mu say yesisi o maso se da be Nyankopon betimi punish yom sa na unim o say Pharaoh okay Egypt oso mu ko formula oso wasisi na so nto on sisa se da be ade opeso de ye no de be ye no ekusi sen wan gwan go shi nsuo no mu yanka su nanto enti ebetime sisi waso ye ka hwe kire wa wudie ofe se wona mo kwaso ni na plan afi obehu na pa o say for I'll visit the iniquities of the fathers unto the children and unto the third and fourth generations of them that hate me.
I want to atwaso be ekobe du
and I'll show mercy to those of them who love me and keep my commandments. Utie
mitie
entino yesi yesi National Cathedral no tom ahye Nyankopon nyonyam na wo a wo so de wo ye bema gina Nyankopon adim
emi aso twere
nyame onai aso twen da start on nukra no monka me see a start wo ma brabom a start on ma mo ko wu sa ayi play na coffee form enye osugu amaze wa ho efense enye obane bo ama no see ye fa ayi cathedral ne ye fa nye hospital
mo body ni ma me bobi o
enye akwaba enye mutala no see ayi block back kura yin see wo ho akwaba ko to say the support them until your kind, but these are things that have gone on. Now it's not going to stop if they don't stop. The only say Omoba University no man no microphone is cathedral. Your Mahama Wayebida or facilitated the building of the National Mosque. Me the advisor me my president. Ayatwa bama wa bauni 1 year kra. You were if in a cathedral no so. Nemo Museum National Cathedral. Because 72% of the population of this country is trying National Cathedral in Yakoma, sorry. Last I will declare July 1st as a prayer day.
About tent.
Muslim phone call mosque. Yeah, then your tent now ko muna ko jina muna bo. So from a boya. Say so toya. Nene. And so yen ye dosu. Yen ye developments wa ha. Yen ye shaping the lives of a lot of people in this country. Schools, hospitals, yes see. Intino said the Sifa corner there. So we are share Islam side in it too much. We see a Christian, we see a sorry Assemblies of God. Assemblies of God.
Was it 10?
Assemblies of God. They bet me Guchina. They said yes, churches never taking Guyano. Where was the National Cathedral in Turkey to be the focal point, the stamp of God in that nation in Niho? It here the end was say, Mr. President.
La remember your last word answer yako. Fred.
I think that
no.
Time no so. I mean, sana make assembly about.
Obeka bibi kakra fa report na buy no na.
Yeah, make bibi kakra fa.
Okay.
Enye
plane class report.
Yeah, make bibi fa. On say achenkwa, oman ya yuma on. Say ye ka aeroplane asema. Ni akofa carpentry. So on for the view run they be a bebre
are ya couple as are capital for the so mo so obi onim nim dia fa
because onim internet makers na make akofo do say he's the most vilified and the most disrespected president. Plane crash no kwhwe on the first person on motor tackle no social media was akofo.
Yes.
Yes, so akota 20-year-old plane na enye papa. Onim atimkwa me so na number say me pilot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And me yenso.
Hey. That's because aviation na.
Me create simulators now me fee. I do it.
Okay.
Me me fe.
Them 10 gram what play.
And it's something that I would love to do.
Sure.
Intimisua and one day kakra. Say plane crash nearby and comfort 2 months go akofado so akoto plane 20 years old. Later I realize say akofado can no to plane. And I say MPP4 and na o my made plane akosho. Obi kwa ka say no ma. You know
and Captain Smart na kama munyi so.
You know it will only take a retarded mind to say and no matter to me a propeller plane because helicopter no ni blade ni twa ne ho enye jet plane jet engine shim to say the hour daily shim ti no say if there's something we call bird strike say no man ni kabom no omutumi for so mu ra engine mu o say engine ne be soak you e soak you say bu ha engine to me den stop it. But a propeller plane is a passion air. And the engine no air fan piano. To answer share Navy for no, they have this Navy jetter, a 4-engine propeller engine. The call baby terrain enye. Cause propeller engine to me turbulence pa. So you plane a crash. Instead of us to get minds who are well vested on planes. Because Ghana here BB engineering, is a aeronautic engineering. And your lectures for Ghana, there are people who have learned on it. I'll bet me from. So, what can be the possible cause of this particular crash? No, one yet. And I'm going to find see TV so. Muchaba ko for the camera. She say buy nya ko for na bit plane be share for. Because I know the edika. Unim atimkwa. Sa wind no say e ma plane no e share for no. Obi a wakọ airport da bia no. Also do airport bia no a as a balloon bi. Na esidua so sa wo. What that balloon does is it shows you the direction of the wind. It's not plane to me land na say two. That is when to me land here because of the wind in directions no. Ebo how when ya enough information from the ground. Say ebia when they say moving from west north or west south, ako east west. When ya say information to be do you normally ebo a plane back air bana when nyo no info me the tower. There be the tower. Say na mahu nti no. You can inform the next person about say on prepare with that particular landing. In from a plane should die, especially when they are landing, because that is where they need that direction of the air most to be able to be stable. But much trouble, Papa no. Achimkwa, because of what? Because you confirm for money nim die bia e bet na TV so see yen kasa. Achimkwa, see yen kasa. Right now, share. Me party MPP dey nyam mem ebia next week because omo dey na ebede. That's why I'm saying this is because lawyer in 2017 Akufo-Addo bars one MPP and this 4 years strategic say the scandals ebe for yabai no. But because we don't know how to communicate, we weren't able to dispel those rumors. And we use sa theory as when a lie is repeatedly being told, it becomes the truth. To much na first one say Akufo-Addo ko speech be scandal wo krom ha. Second, Akufo-Addo first UN General Summit also assess party for akọ US Emma Gabi Ochida okra de no ani ticket to try bet to say me am try ticket ko then the is it Kelvin G or say I think there's auditing be almost auditing be. How much have they spent on almost auditing almost Yes. Now the finance minister come tell us say now ECG every 700 million equal 1.7 billion. Well, you know that as of 2024 ECG was racking up 1.3 billion into the free paying for no so and Sanyaba. There is this video and no quality video I'm best born in there because the other one's meant to win a chance. So I come with me about mamia. Then I asked the authorities they say we no say misinformation said them be chat nkwane dia enu ne hia so bi kokko report nipa no ansa ma tumi akwache no ana say ndi aban ko na nipa ne kaseti ya ana omo IP no bi hu. Oh there I just want to ask that question. Say so obi so tena ho egu obi hu fisa na say it's because of say wanya adwin bi me papa was 60 years otu from say come hu ade bi o TikTok o no kre. That means them paying for the now on social media. Yes. So when you put something there, then you put 1,000 crash. Do you know the minds that you've changed? Or to TikTok.
Criminal libel law. You came krumha. Say be a Maccabi Biafra we who achieve the because criminal court. You came. And your records is civil. Yeah, a criminal libel law. It has been repealed long time ago.
Section 2067.
It's a criminal libel law. You know what criminal libel law means? Criminal libel just will can be Biafra we say who. First in a crime. It is a no defamation. It is a way, Papa, you can answer ma. What did you call? To say,
publication of false news.
And then, publication of false news. And
I didn't know.
It's in your opinion, no.
Publication of false news.
It's not true.
Fear and panic.
It's in your opinion, in yet true. That's a good be who fear. Yeah, they go criminal court. Lord,
my say beti a video na. Me nua ne ka. Mama video no my say na say ye beti a femu
say no. Enye politics biom. Baby ansem do say no enye politics biom. Eye ni bresem. Eye ni bresem pa. Hwe MPP party a Akufo-Addo di be di Ghana for 8 years no. Eye bi yaw say NDC fu nheda nka no kware nkyere Ghanaians. NDC fu won pese wo ka no kware kyere Ghanaians. The state a Akufo-Addo Kenuforiata abena oseye sare ene won ekeka ho no. But the state that what Ghana could do, you know. NDC fu pese wo ka no kware kyere yen. Enuanom ni adofo mujemi di se Wontumi sign say anase Wontumi transfer sika $83 billion se mo kwa koye import mo ko fa niam fi abrochiri aba Ghana sika na wo transfer $83 billion no eniam wo ko fa ba Ghana no 10.4 billion. 10.4 billion. And you know more like mon share na mon comment. Misre Ghana ni bi as a video we mon like na mon share na nkwachiri na enkrofon ti eniema bi nti a ye ka say MPP fu allegedly wo ya krofo awidifo. Mon share video we na nkwachiri niema Ghana fu hu ni nti a ye ka say MPP party led by Akufo-Addo ni na ebusuafo no allegedly wo ya krofo awidifo. Mama yenti ato forcing yeti ato forcing we are mede ne aka na betre.
The Speaker, we have identified an abuse in the use of import declaration forms, IDFs. The Speaker, I'll give you the update. Right, Honorable Speaker, our investigation into Ghana's import system exposed a staggering abuse of import declaration forms, a tool meant to support legitimate trade, but now hijacked for illicit transfers and tax evasion. Mr. Speaker, between April 2020 and August 2025, over 525,000 transactions amounting to an equivalent of $83 billion were processed through ICOPS. Mr. Speaker, surprisingly, this amount of $83 billion were transferred from Ghana in the name of imports. But surprisingly, Mr. Speaker, only 10,440 of these transactions were linked to actual imports. Mr. Speaker, and
say, say, who for carpenter for? Some mamma accounting for Juma. Look at what this person has done. Demean the president because we say we transfer 83 billion. Share Achinkwa. Let me show you how this works. Who are Ghana so person transfer iska? Ekoto adia. Oko bank oko ye sa documentations ni na we be IDF. A form. Uji free the Ministry of Trade. Now what you say? May send $100,000. But they koto car engine. Me de koto free sa company on ho. To the company now the auto from invoice ebe attach it to or IDF no. Now the account or transfer slip no. Now what send it. Ena atoka say sa forms na e failure o Ghana ha no. Omo share in between that year no. Sika e transfer free Ghana say the koto dey free abroche no. $83 billion. But se nyoma ne ba sa o fill sa declaration form no banker nyoma ne ba sa the import duty no customs documents no echo back to the bank say the mamo transfer is come am no aba nti ehun duty amayeni na bank na tumi any Ministry of Trade fracas so na nye money laundering. It is because of money laundering. Na nye money laundering na dia no okotoe no company ni di yaba.
The receipt ni.
Something happened, I think last 2 years. Na me doctor na kwa kota DB. So we had to Dubai, so we had to do a transfer from Dubai to Italy. I think it was 30,000 euros. The transfer in 1 year credit was 2 years. Guy no transfer mine no frame me last month. So Fred, nyoma na bank na bisa me say scanner me transfer me fa ho documents. Guy no Dubai. Me ntime send me nyoma uyi no documents no na me fa enkomo e na me send no koma nti ya den na obeka say former president na Danko Akufo-Addo a transfer na Ghana esike na yesen ye yearly budget na atobakin kan yesen so we share Ghana yearly budget it would take us almost 10 years to get to that particular figure na obodi no because it's around get a yearly budget yesen and $10 billion in po and $10 billion big push yes. So you see, that is what I'm saying. Say,
and publication of false news.
Achukwa, it's a make say. It's a sad day way no, and not dear. The government doesn't see it for you to because on him. The ex-president is the property of the state. So see, I saw that wa. You because say in the state barrier because a state in India. Wabe sumi. So see it now. Said the not lawyer king. We don't value our own. Achinkwa Ghana ni baya de. We don't value that person. Hey, just give me 2 minutes. Now can say we never say a topic because also I'm a computer scientist.
Me no be one on one this week.
Maybe software be. I'm say lightweight software be. Now so network 900 over 900 hospitals, and on network 450. And we say was sabotage. We say how him. Adia ba kwa ni project dem pie IT systems. Do you know why? Because we are in a country your digitization drive and we pay. And for you to do you know what it takes for you to even network 450 hospitals? Sometimes no, you're expert no, you're expert ni. So the experts will be catch us say they na nko na no, and na from sa. And na from and because him adia ba ko a de bia ye upgrade IT systems nti na wa koto phone we o tena say iPhone 17 so aba kona koto adia iPhone 17 be no 16 to me yes a software new one aba iPhone 7 or iPhone 8 ndi mo nka ho bi that means mo no
never say WhatsApp kre bi ni sa 6 plus ne 116
the WhatsApp is every month be enya update update to WhatsApp it is a way IT systems na say it take you long years once equipment now better no a year or two you see say equipment component ain't mean serve purpose now because a data now they transfer what I say a data a nipa. So if we have a Ghanaian company who is able to do this particular thing na yes mo de omka $20 million into mo fan so almost no mo complete project na o say dem make for another company no na baba ye de aka na to aso no so agisika
na ne onni no di kan wan na bomane ka
yes that is why the country cannot even groom billionaires. Say billionaire be Ghana ba akopa only the number of people that the person will employ but you be use communist inferior tactics you be use politics MPP for buy what and this for buy what haven't they done to Magdan
so my clan
grooming or creating millionaires in your country and not just mere talk. It is a government policy which is rooted on the fact to say we must hold the local trade. Ghanaians must hold the local trade because if they do, they will develop their settings. Oko America now so start to say will come down. I die be na hu no. Ebi a miles na government da ba kokra ni. Because they were able to create and empower their people to hold the economy. I was see China more, Ghana more, China.
Please, can I get Fred contact? I'm Jamel from Tamale in the northern region.
It is springing.
I'll get it to you.
everywhere. Government is one almost share. Almost banana. It was almost which the constitution says are the way. It's government that we're hitting. It's massa. At the end of the day, if you don't start from the foundation, you will never get there. Oh yeah, a three top politics. Oh, and then you consider them yay. How does that benefit the people? And you know, charity begins at home. To say the Nana buy or say may ye free education. Yes. It is a preparing the say pad.
Now I'm chairman school for man.
Or prepare them. Yes. Can so a Ghana for dia. A bicycle and a Ghana for dia. And the woman uses the can be empower the youth.
Right.
So that bear on be take the economy no.
Fred Mamimra. Mamen can't for saying chair. You're sorry now. You made any Nsempa Fie. The boy come in then you mre. No so aquapim set non cron ebebo. Honorable Kwakwata, a deputy Ashanti regional organizer, was say Gobelian tactics in politics is when lies are told repeatedly and tends to be truth. Good evening. I'm watching you live from somewhere. Maybe I want one enemy.
Somewhere you come out. Somewhere you come out.
Okay. DK, quick name. What to say? I say that thing. And I do. I am a no me answer. Then we call me. I say if I see kumbwa me boa. If I see kum report me tie or akuma. I see camera ne kitano no ne camera man no. E dan ba kom wura mu no. Na kwa ba ko no prepare ba bia pick e wadu no. Say peme. O senso anya why no. And the member nyina be gukumase. Hwediem ene enkro bebre a omkọ ho. Mami bisa wo do ye minor. Eti mami nti o comment on it. Go ye nche ne ye be sorry. Mami fa wona me wiane ne Fred ne lawyer so baba be wi.
Achenkwa.
Aban ne kwan ofa so peso o sigalam se ane no. Ne kwan no nam so na na.
Niema we ye ekoso nyine no. A lawyer for ne betimi akotu law no. Amaye hu no. Ni omu ye no sabi ne botaye ene ba bi betimi akoduro agisa lawyer from ne nimu mra no sadi esika because sa Chinese movie na e koso sese no meme die no kwasem ne hame
Chinese movie
yes Chinese movie e koso system no sese ya no ha dwen agengwa nti omu a omu ye enfumso bi ti a soldiers any police no nti saafo no a teacher for a what dadwen a doctor for a what dadwen even wo mo angasa nyonko a police for a wo ya post wo mo foforo military for post wo mo foforo wo na camp de danko fo fie mu no so mo kwakire wo mo ka ho a isu ampa se e ka wo mo no mo kasa ne ye na ko no ho ana patma sabana se do si ko anajo bre no kunfu movie no mo ko yi na anajo bre no who asem na mi bi say you so bi dada ni aboni purum me hwesa akwa baako wo se bossa nko beduru abonte no wo hye ne trouser ade na asi ade na aba wo man we mu ekwan be ne efa so invite obi ade ne ko criminal office investigation we dia wo mom do ko nyina afna mo ko yo
ma remind wo nyina o nipa be 300
and the remind any prison Ajengwa enu ya eno
that me
me be be say eno no on pese che omo di CD e ho kwan eno no on pese kire say
omo sigalam say no
I think some omo construct naimus
any EPF for
no omo ye
ade ne say nipa no omo akoye na edani a mutimi de camera capture bi
some class video
eti se mu wo video no odi a munya ba ku mienu kura che wo mu a ede dance bere ebeba so eti se de ekoye no se oni NDC for edere e wo bibia ho a oso ye careful na o ma no mo ka bi se agu yachi na bi anya kwa akokasa sana se me ho no ti me se me no mu ya de bia me ya ne kwas na mum said wo mu ye ni nyina ne fighting for illegal mining dia ene me dia me ka say the proper way ebetimi atu illegal mining ase ene ya no ene the proper way no akwanya no ama me say brepe me say nya akwanya no maba ma the proper way a me nim dia mu amatra mining sector mother sector na no as a chairman for association no me ya mine na ni bi no me metimi abema the proper solution betimi solve illegal mining na system ni mu no ya kan wasam aka na ade no de ya amanyosam nti no uka nya de befa se nyemfa so bi no munye free mining issue mu a adan na education problem timi ba ena no ebi school mi amani ya gan ni nyu obi na ko kabitere me ko school bi mu ye pe ye gibi 7,000 se na ma no yada boarding ada ebi 3,000 ebi say omu de 10,000 am de ma
and this MBC obutu atra na million na
me de ma anti ba me 7,000 de si mi amani ya ju obi me ka enye me no ka say akura ba akoti mi fie sisi awasokole mampo mama no mango tua 4,000 ya je no me say bla betra ani edo bitua na ntia kokumaka mama na betra mi fie no ku school so education mu problem ti mi ba da be no hu say ye do asoja for ni police for education sector say ko chichi
yesi coach ya fa kola bi tuma na wu say da so bobo
ya da so bobo ya ko football mu say ko chichi ya ko operation wo mu health sector mfunsuo bi nti doctor bi timi operation no obi awu ya say asoja for kwa chichi wo mu
mo nche 10 minutes wa na
ade ti na mining nko ade mining nko ade wo mo ya mining na ye wo ho problem ba ya ma miners no enhwe ni solve that issue that the soldier for the police na chichi wo mu it tells you say bibi ikoso ho senyem fasuo bi na amanyofo ni nya free mining mu dia omun jai problem ni ma miners no sector no nyame adom aban bia wo ba wo na you DC our district bi enti mining areas no DC for no you no njo mu ni anka you omo yisu omo mining areas no nkro bia wo hemfo yisu omo mining areas electoral areas for assembly members for ewo ho enti monte monitoring team our mining areas na mo resource wo mo fa mra ni nse won sem se mo na mo nhwe se ba bi etu agude ba bi eni kwase nipa ne ko no e ma ne nko otu wi a onkata so ansa no yina fidie di akọ se ye sa ne ma wo ya ensase etugu ho amosi ye sensase ensu es enne meba nyine so kwem nyine nsuo ni mu kofo gina mu a wo mo ye one leg ho ma video nenu say wasa ba kan ma mu yi kire nkofo me de baba
me da say DKM ana atene kan ma me ko Fred ona me lawyer me wi Fred
atonkwam say ekro na etim no yen shida study nyomo ayana nyoma bia
sofo bi akase bi ona next week ma be boss asem no concerning kwaya soldier for fa so a omo my
achimkwa this week what was the event you see this week
ewak
there be
event nkokwa ngetingeti
there be
na there
chief justice they knew
I was almost 70 years
they knew that there is a news coming. So they had to counter it with something else.
When I say me can say bichi obi enra, ona me ka kire wana. Me say Matisse yesi DNA sensem bi. Dey na a plain class report on every Tuesday no. That Tuesday na say Obuasi circuit court. Etna say DNA sensem ti no. Report no ni petin wan say mundu 10. But DNA ni die. For be bia.
This week we knew we were going to have a new chief justice. And they knew that it will create controversies. So we do things just to make sure it's a controversy now. Why not say you say
Oma approve no.
Why not?
Oma approve no. Say na budget ni ne baso.
Ni person na approve. Ni person na ewu. Ni person na ate.
Ezo ko swearing in na.
Ghana help our schools now come say who is our chief justice? They
Omega say Tokono.
The Bena chief justice appointment and be news okroma. But the next day the tabloids were reporting of people like arrest your more. Na dem abebi kumasi na say. Achimkwa what MPP wasn't him. President Mahama, he's very smart.
Communicate.
I love him. The second coming, or me will say what dibida into a suya and a oba. I love him. Seriously, I'm not joking. Mimi Pobia or learning from the mistakes. No making sure say, right now what he has done, he's been able to gag the media on his side. I know say policy be no say be man the problem be no. He's introducing it at his honeymoon period no. So 1 year we no can ho asem kro obi engine because what I say. So he's using that period to do the things that are to be needful to be done. Now time maybe anyoma nkwe no. Enyo ho no ba because how do ya public opinion post ne be ko for mama no. You understand? So I think what I'm trying to the point I'm trying to get it across is that Sagalam say issue you be an aduane. It is not easy to be an aduane. Adia a bema a ma be a problem and so then sabeka adia man crop for aduane day. Eddie. Because nobody is going to allow it.
Betting tax.
And you betting tax as a so a judgment high tea. Obi any bri because aban person ni so. Because at the end day no say edman gua o kwa he.
Me coffee akoda.
Me kwa he.
Okoda.
So I don't know many bri na me judgment isi wo. The same thing happens with mining. But the problem is that now your excess is a way your import supply. Because the Ghana they export you importing your mother and say you're exporting. The surplus is now a massive no and what they buy from they are covering it with gold. So right now if the government exports the gold obenya surplus is ne kakra e dey back currency no. So if you've seen this, what should you do for the gold business? You should make sure say the influx of the Chinese would cease, and it will only cease when you're able to empower your people with money.
Oh yeah, next week yabasiaba. Good evening Achemkwa, very interesting show. Pumpuni from Yeji ana ode ebaye sanso kwakwatari and the medikan akan dida. Achemkwa, good evening, greetings from Begro. Your friend, the customs officer, yo mate, Madam Funo customs no, and the ebaye. Achemkwa, I cannot wait to listen to your program on air. I always mix your voice on your show whilst you are not showing up. I wish you return to be to the studio